the success of our events, of our bridging activities, because how can a conference like this be sustainable? And Susanne had a very good response to that. It only works with the spillover, so that we see and learn and get to know innovative TVET practices that are successful, and then we take them and transfer them to another country, to another TVET context. And I think in BILT, we do that. We provide the platform, but what is often missing and what we also get asked very often is, but how do we get the resources for that? So what funding is one major challenge to overcome when taking one innovative project, one example, and implementing that in your own context, but also support and advisory services when it comes to how to implement effective projects, how to do monitoring and evaluation. This is not only true for us, but also for the project that you are envisioning, that you want to implement. And so this is the first time that we would like to start a new spotlight series, I would call it, within our conferences, where we will present to you different programs with the focus on interregional cooperation opportunities. So not only within your region, not only within Europe and Asia Pacific, but building these bridges between the regions. And we would like to start at this conference by presenting you two funding schemes, two mobility programs, and also the one which is more on the project implementation advisory level. And then we might continue, find even more programs, more support, etc. And this session should really be about discussing, sharing best practices on how to come up with the resources, how to contact maybe your local government, your local ministry, how to get the support to implement innovative TVET, so that we can all together raise the quality of TVET and work towards this transformation of inclusive excellence. And now, without further ado, I would like to introduce the first speaker of this session. We are very much delighted to have, I'm really sorry for the pronunciation, Cahyanti Ratri from the Dutch Organization for Internationalization in Education, Nuffic, as our first speaker. Ratri is a senior program manager for the EU-ASEAN Sustainable Connectivity Package, short SCOPE, in higher education program. And this program is implemented by Nuffic Southeast Asia. Ratri is today calling from Nuffic's office in Indonesia, and she will introduce us to the many projects and programs implemented in the ASEAN region. And I would start with, first of all, a round of applause for Ratri, because it's already quite late in Indonesia, but she still agreed to do this presentation. So a round of applause for Ratri. And now the floor is yours.
Thank you, Cara. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for the opportunity. So I'm here to introduce you with one of the program running by Nuffic Southeast Asia. Can we see the title of the program, Cara?
We are working on it. 1 second. There we are.
Thank you. Here we are there. So the program called, as mentioned by Cara, EU-ASEAN Sustainability Connectivity Package, in short SCOPE, higher education. So actually this program is under the EU-ASEAN Sustainable Connectivity Package. There are 9 pillars, and we are supporting the pillar of education in this case. So even though the title is higher education, but we also work explicitly. We are mentioned in the DOA, in the proposal, including in this presentation, that we will support the TVET as well. Next, please. So this is the program summary. This program will implement by Nuffic and DAAD. So both Nuffic and DAAD formally work for the shared program, which are more focused on the student mobility and increase the quality of the higher education. But in the next phase of the program, we also try to address the TVET. This program itself is called a SCOPE program, and we will bring the Objective is to increase exchange people-to-people connection, notably in education, TVET research within ASEAN and ASEAN in EU, with the duration 48 months, and we will involve 10 ASEAN member states. So this program is, of course, we will align with the ASEAN work plan. We also align with the ASEAN higher education space, and also supporting the several higher education and TVET institution, university network, private sector, research institution, individual research, and actors in policymakers and member state. And of course, we will work with the ASEAN government and the EU government. The total contribution for this project is 9 million euro, but this is the co-finance, so Nuffic will contribute 300k euro. Next, please. So this is the policy framework of EU-ASEAN connectivity that we will try to address. As mentioned before, there are master plan of higher education. We also support the EU connectivity sustainable connectivity package. We also support the Indo-Pacific plan, something like that. But so this is around the policy that we're trying to address during the 4 years of implementation. Next, please. And this is specific for ASEAN policy framework. So as mentioned before, that before this program, we're running the share, which is focused more on higher education and student mobility. So there are a lot of results of this program. There are a lot of achievement. We also support to build the community of practice, which include all the lecturer or the practitioner and also the expert on higher education. We do a lot of research. So with all of this modality, we're trying to use and develop in this program to support both higher education and TVET, but in kind of a bit different. We are not only talking about the student mobility, but we also talking about joint research, sharing the knowledge, and also trying to connect private sector, government, and TVET institution. Next, please. So yeah, this is what we think while we develop this program. So this program actually is a new program. We just start this February. So currently we are in the inception phase. So all of the presentation material that we showed to you today is more on the initiative, the activity that we are going to do during 4 years of implementation. So this is what we think on how to sustainable and do the inclusive program. We all think about addressing the gender aspect also, because we trying to build a specific workshop or capacity building for female graduation, something like that. And also we work with the institution and higher education institution and TVET to ensure that there's a involvement of their female student in all of our activity. We also want to work with the youth. So we always ensure that during our workshop and during activity, we involve the organization or community that built by youth or focus on youth to ensure that we can grab and collect their input to the development of higher education and TVET in ASEAN region, of course. And we also trying to build a strong partnership with the stakeholders. So this is what we also learned during the share, that we need to strengthen our partnership, not only for the university network, not only talking about the TVET institution, but we also want to try to create the connection between private sectors, something that we are not yet able to address during the previous program. Next, please. So this is a theory of change. Basically, we think because we will address the employability also, we think about if the private sector, if the industry could share what is their future skill that they need, what is their demand, and they could able to share it with us. There is a platform that they can share it with us, or there's also their active involvement. For example, they have a specific material for the learning and they want to invite us to join their training. It will be a good modality to build and increase the capacity of the graduate, both from higher education and TVET. So if that could be happen and there's a support from the government, we support by the policy, we support to share more knowledge, more data, and we can work together with the EU and ASEAN or within ASEAN, then we can strengthen the connectivity between both EU and ASEAN or within ASEAN. Next, please. So under this program, we will have 3 result area. Result area is focused on strengthen student and academic mobility. So we will use this result area to focus on facilitate dialogue, consensus building and collaboration among the key institutions in ASEAN. But we are not thinking only between ASEAN. We will invite all the stakeholders, the practitioner, the expert from EU. So, and we also plan to do the policy dialogue both in EU and ASEAN. And the second is we will provide technical assistance and capacity building on the comparability of reference system and higher education framework relevant with ASEAN bodies within ASEAN and EU. So this is the expertise for our partner, the AAD. So during the SHARE program, the AAD also focus on the quality of the higher education. So it's like the next journey of to improve the quality of higher education in ASEAN. Next. So result area 2, this is completely focused on higher education. With the focus on stronger EU-ASEAN cross-regional university network to tackle global challenge. So in this result area, we basically want to build the university network to facilitate the researcher, the student to join research, to share their knowledge, to also facilitate the dialogue between higher education. We also think about the student mobility or doctoral or researcher mobility. So it's not focus only for the student, but we try to grab the attention from the doctoral candidate and also the researcher. Next. And the result area 3, will be focused on the vocational education institution. So actually, this is the first involvement or engagement of Nuffic Southeast Asia in TVET program. Previously, we do have a lot of activity related to TVET, but it's more like bilateral between Indonesia and Netherlands. And now we are trying to step in regional ASEAN. And of course, because this is a Netherlands, we will bring and focus on TVET on agriculture. So under the result area 3, we will do 3 main activity. First is facilitate dialogue between vocational education institution, private sector, and to improve graduate employability. We will do the study. So the study, we hope through the study, we can understand the current situation about the TVET employability, and what they need, the gap between the need of the private sector or industry with the available graduate or student. And we trying to compel that and use the result of this study into the multi-stakeholder dialogue. So through this multi-stakeholder dialogue, we're trying to engage all the relevant stakeholders to grab their attention, to grab their awareness that there is something that we can do together. So we hope through this dialogue, we can agree on something. The government is also involved. The ASEAN regional member states are also involved. We are together trying to understand this is the gap and this is the possible step that we can agree on, because this program is only 4 years. If we want to address all of the issue, it might not enough. So we also need to aware the capacity or understand that we are not able to do a lot of things. So through this multi-stakeholder, we can identify with and make the priority. So this is the priority. This is what we can do during the 4 years of implementation. And the second main activity is provide more on platform. So we think about develop, we call it labor market system, but maybe we will develop another name on it, because we think about, we are not only thinking to provide the vacancy, but we also want to give the information about the available capacity building or maybe the policy that already developed and approved in EU and ASEAN that could facilitate and accommodate the TVET graduate to work in EU or maybe more contribution at global level. We also plan to build the mentoring platform. In this case, we will invite the institution, the private sector, both in EU and ASEAN, to aware and use their material because actually if we see currently in the ASEAN region, there are a lot of involvement from the private sector and they also a willingness to provide the online learning. So we want to grab that and also use the material that they have. Of course, we will focus on agriculture. So we will invite all of the stakeholder and the private sector who work on agriculture to provide the online training and mentoring. And we will invite not only the student, but we also think about mentor to mentor training, something like that. And we also trying to invite the student to the connectivity innovation competition. So the idea of this activity is to invite the TVET institution in ASEAN to develop the innovation. So we will share with them through the multi-dialogue stakeholder that this is the reality, this is the gap, this is the issue. So as the TVET institution, what kind of solution that you can offer to us? What is the idea? Then we will invite them to submit the proposal. We will work with the expert to review the proposal as part of the innovation competition. And the last activity will be providing more working cooperation between private sector and government. That's why we will plan to invite like triplex or quadruplex proposal that develop that encourage the private sector to build one of the training or one of capacity building that could increase the capacity of the current student, TVET student. Okay. Next. Okay. Yeah. That's all from my side. Thank you. And of course, this is not a big things to share, but I hope we can give you an overview about this program. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation, Ratri. And now I would like to give the opportunity to our participants to ask some questions. Maybe this particular program from Nuffic is really interesting for our Asian Pacific participants and the European ones. So if you have a question to Ratri, just raise your hand and my colleague Jessica will hand you a mic. So I think, Ratri, your presentation was really successful with lots of information because the people are still thinking what should they ask, because I think it was really concise, and also we are just after lunch break, so maybe people are a little bit...
Yeah, I know.
No worries. But then I would like to ask a question. So Ratri, you said, so I would go back to the different activities that you that your programs offer, and also what kind of funding there are. So you have a focus on mobility for also for TVET students. Is that correct? Is it comparable, for example, to the Erasmus Plus program?
So currently about the mobility, we are not yet focused on that. So we want to do like more simple one, like a summer school. So it's a simple exchange. So if we talk about the mobility, it will be costly. That's what we practice during the share. And considering the budget, I think, and within my team think that maybe we can do something more innovative, not like 6 months or maybe 1 year, but let's focus on internship. So internship is really like give the chance for a student to work in the private sector, feel the environment, feel the pressure, understand the gaps from so they receive something from school, of course, that's the theory, and this is the practical. So where is the gap? Try to teach the student, this is the gap, this is the reality, and if you're aware with this reality, then what is your action plan, what is your strategy, something like that we want to build during the internship. That's why we really want to request support from the private sector. We do the campaign to engage with the private sector to actively involve in this program.
Yeah, this would have been my second question. So the involvement of the private sector. So do you already have some companies, for example, that would be ready to take up foreign students? And would you support in finding internships?
Okay, thank you, Kara. So if I have to mention the name, of course, this I'm not yet able to mention the name of the company. But so this program, actually, as I said before, is a co-finance program, which means that we are from Nuffic. We have done a lot of activity previously to engage the private sector. One of it we call the Empowerment Youth for Food. This kind of campaign that in fact the youth, especially they are the one who focus on the agriculture. It doesn't matter they are the young entrepreneur or they work in agriculture or they really are the farmer, young farmer, to be part of this campaign. So in this campaign, we invite those students, those youth, and invite the private sector as well. So that's why we trying to engage. There's a possibility of collaboration, of course. They show their interest, but of course we are not yet come with the MOU or something that really fixed on the table. But we do approach through this campaign.
This sounds really interesting and promising, and we're looking ahead.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So, of course, we will share her presentation with you. We will upload it to our web page of the event, and you can also find Ratri's contact details in there. So if you have another question after the event, please feel free to go back to her. So thank you so much, Ratri, and one last round of applause.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Great. So I think, yeah, and as I said, in Indonesia, it's already quite late. So we will move on to the participants in this room. And we are very, very happy to have Yvonne Jänchen from Movetia here with us. And she's a program coordinator with lots of experience in interregional cooperation opportunities. So we are very keen on hearing about you and about the programs and projects that Movetia can support, especially with the focus on interregional connectivity. So please come to the front. And I think we would need a microphone because the room is quite big, right? So I will...
Do you have the...
Yes.
So hello, everybody. Thank you very much for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to speak here, even if I come from Switzerland, which is always a bit special, as you know. So, yeah, my name is Yvonne Jänchen. I'm living in Bern. Movetia is also now located in Bern. So I'm shortly presenting Movetia. What are we? We have a vision. A vision is a vision. We would like every kind of young people that they participate at least once in a mobility program. If it's abroad, in a European country, internationally, or even now, there's also possibility to have mobilities in Switzerland between the regions. Yeah, we are far away from it. It's really a vision. So what do? We try to promote and to support any kind of projects, mobility projects, cooperation projects with European countries. And we also have a new law, so we can also promote and fund projects abroad, internationally, worldwide. So we try to build up a network of organizations. So we consider ourselves also a bit of a platform, a promoting platform to connect institutions from Switzerland with institutions abroad. Yeah, because this is also one of you can't do mobility and cooperation projects if you don't have the international partners to match with. So this is also one of my duties. Yeah, Movetia, it was founded in January 2017. Why? So we're quite young. Switzerland is not associated to Erasmus Plus anymore because of a very strange votation several years ago. So since then, we always have these discussions. Are we going to reintegrate Erasmus Plus? So we hope that maybe this year something is going to happen, but of course it's not sure. But we are mandated by the State Secretariat of Education and Innovation, the SERI, and other departments. So we are really mandated by the Swiss Confederation to support projects, mobility projects, cooperation projects. So what do we do? So basically, we try to stay as close as possible to Erasmus+. So we offer also these mobility projects with the European countries, and of course also the Key Action 2 projects, cooperation projects in any kind. And we also try to promote centers of vocational excellence. Of course, the level is quite high, but we try to. And as I said, we have a new law, so we also have an international program, and we are really mandated also by this law to promote these type of projects. We also have now a national exchange project, which is new. You have to imagine that we are a country with different languages, and we had no Swiss exchange program. Yeah. As I said, we are funny. So we have the national program, which is not so interesting for you. So we have the Swiss program to Erasmus+. It is more or less, as you know, the Erasmus program. So the target groups are, of course, students, VET students, teachers, and other stuff of any kind of VET-related organization. There can be schools and enterprises and so on, and other kind of institutions. We have this international program for all countries above the European Union, which have a bit different type of funding. What is interesting, maybe also for you, we have the possibility with the Swiss program to Erasmus+, to finance the mobilities. If we have a Swiss institution which is submitting a project to us, we can finance, of course, the outgoing mobility, so our learners who are going outside for an internship, but we also finance the incoming mobilities. So this could be interesting for you. And for cooperation projects, of course, if according to the law, one of the scopes is that Swiss institutions can participate fully in European programs. But if this is not possible for different reasons, they have the possibility to submit a Swiss project to Movetia, which complements the European project, and so we can fund the Swiss participation. So the European project is not touched at all, so they have to participate in all kinds of activities, but we are funding this participation entirely. So, yeah, I already talked a bit like that about the mobility program. So, of course, one of the most important target groups of these mobility programs are, of course, learners. But we also try to focus more and more on teachers, because teachers, if they are convinced that mobilities are beneficial for them and for their students, they will promote mobility. If they think it's nonsense, it's difficult to make them move. So we also try to bring into mobilities the teachers for job shadowings, teacher activities. Mostly it's for teachers in bilingual teaching situations, German English or German French. So of course also networking. I must admit that the Swiss TVET institutions, TVET schools, they're not so oriented to the international participation. So if they start already with networking, to get in contact with others, to exchange know-how and so on, it is already a good step in the right direction. But it is true that Swiss institutions, they're still a bit, they're looking for themselves. Of course, they have their duty. They have to do what they have to do. So it is really, actually, it is really difficult for some to push them, to look up and see what others are doing and to have new knowledge gathered. So, and also what I find also quite interesting is these structured trainings, the participation in courses and seminars and conferences. I guess this is also one of the aspects which would make them move. So, and how about the funding, So if I can fund also the participation from students from abroad, I need a Swiss institution which is submitting a proposal to Movetia. So we are doing the evaluation of the project. And then I can fund also the incomings, for example, incoming teachers and so on. So this is really one of the basic criteria. I'm not allowed to fund directly a foreign institution. I have to find a Swiss institution willing to, because it's completely Swiss money. So this is one of the conditions. But I'm here also, to get you into contact with Swiss institutions. If you are interested in your field and you heard of an institution in Switzerland and you think, maybe I would like to get in contact with them, and you do not want to do it by your own, you can contact me and I'll try to do it. I'm not trying it, I will do it, hopefully with a positive answer. So destinations, it's all the Erasmus. I already said essential about the cooperation. We have no restrictions on the theme. The cooperation projects, they should really reply to the need of the field. So everything is possible. And as I said, I really like to push also the Swiss institution to participate in cooperation projects. We were talking a lot about the construction, recycling of construction materials. This is also a great issue for Switzerland, and to bring into this new knowledge into the curriculum of the TVET curriculum. Everybody can participate. International all over the world. Objectives are the same. So yeah, I'm really open. What you need. You can come to me and ask me if I already have institutions to propose, or I will search for institutions to propose, so that we could build up international cooperation projects. I guess I said the essential aspects. So I hope that I will get a lot of mails or phone calls. Well, Holcim they wrote me and I'm going to meet them tomorrow morning. So it works. Do you have any questions? Yes?
For the application, if I understood, I lost a couple of things. So
no problem.
For the application, the Swiss organization have to apply, right?
Yes.
Is it? Okay. But do they have a partner, an international partner to apply or not?
Well, if a Swiss institution has already partners, it's perfect. If the Swiss institution is coming and saying, I would like to have a partnership with, I don't know, Italy or Germany or whatever, I will try to find somebody in the network, so this is also why I'm here, so if Swiss institutions are coming to see me, that I can propose something, because normally they don't have these networks, so I try really to build up these networks, But I can't promise you that I have a direct access to everybody, but I do my best to give you this access.
Of course, it's very interesting for us that we are in Como, so
we can walk.
I can see from
Yeah, I was already thinking of you. Maybe I could bring you into contact with other Swiss institutions. Yeah, I was thinking about it.
I have some ideas we can share in the break.
Okay, Yes?
Thank you, very interesting presentation. Do you also facilitate projects that are done among international bodies, like, for example, the University of Pedagogical University of Zurich with a national body in other countries, or just vet centers?
Well, me personally, I'm working in the domain of vet centers, so I'm doing everything with vet. If you are interested with in universities, so I can bring you into contact with the other department on the tertiary level.
I mean vet, but vet like in terms of that national bodies, not centers. Is it?
Yeah, if it's a networking building up of, yeah, of course.
You work also with Africa? You work also with African?
Yes, yeah, it's the international program is quite new. The law is available since 2022. So yes, there are some few projects. Yeah.
And what is the time frame of these projects? I mean, do you do short term or is it also some long term activity?
Up to 3 or 4 years. Yeah. Yeah. But it depends on it. It's a minimum of 1 year for cooperation projects, of course. For mobility projects, the stay depends on if it's a teacher or if it's a learner. But for learners, it's also up to 1 year. For teachers, it's up to 3 months, I guess. You know, for teacher activities, job shadowings, and so on. Yeah.
You said that for you it's definitely a priority to engage all Swiss TVET institutions in international networking, collaborations, etc. Do you have numbers, or does, for example, we know, for example, that for Erasmus Plus, the goal is to have 10% of all, for example, vet students go abroad for a certain amount of time. We are at 5%.
Yeah, I read that. Yeah, 5%. Yeah.
So how is it in Switzerland?
As I said, it's really a vision, you know. I don't know in your countries, but in Switzerland, you know, as we have this dual system, you know, if you want to make move students, you have to have agreement with the schools, with the working place. So it's very it's difficult, you know. For those who have school-based training, it's easier. For the dual system, it's more complicated. But so I don't think that we are reaching the 5%.
Do you have a database of institutes if they are private areas or interested thematic areas?
I wanted to build up a database. Up to now, it was not admitted by the management board. We have some statistics about where people go. Yeah, they are also online, but I do not have profound statistics.
Then interested institution can ask for collaboration for particular thematic areas.
Well, I'm building up now. Well, we have one Swiss survey about internationalization. And there I'm building up a tool to help institutions to develop an internationalization strategy. And there's going to be what we call the marketplace, so that the national and the international institutions can find themselves. But I'm going to test it in different phases, and when I'm coming out, you know, on international level, I want to be sure that it's working, you know. So I'm on this, yeah. Okay, so thank you very much. Do not hesitate to contact me.
Yes, thank you very much, Yvonne. As I said, we will upload all of the presentations to our event webpage. There you can find Yvonne's contact information as well. And we are looking forward to much collaboration with the ASEAN countries and with Switzerland. And now we have 2 more minutes until we have our first coffee break. Yes, and we are already looking forward to the dinner. So yes, exactly. Today's surprise. Yeah. So So let's close this session on funding mechanisms and funding schemes, programs, etc. And then after the coffee break, I would like to invite you to come back to us, and then we hear from Christine van Harach from DCD Dual VET, and who will share her experience, especially when it comes to project implementation, advisory services, etc. So a different perspective, but also crucial when we want to set up projects on an international scale. So you're very much invited to join us after the coffee break at 3:30, and then afterwards we will have some free time to browse the gallery, to engage in bilateral meetings, because now you have known, you got to know all the participants, so, and you're probably very eager also to exchange a little bit more. So let's do that, and then at the end we have the very nice study visit at Cometa with Cometa students. So we are also very much looking forward to that. So enjoy the coffee break and see you back at 3:30.